Okay, so podcast number 3. Happy? Excited?
Yes.
No, it's totally. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the podcast that we're going to be talking about, do you want to introduce Karen and where she's come from and what how she relates to stables and stuff like that? Or do you want to start?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if you wanted to start, maybe you can introduce yourself.
I like the way he's just pushed the gauntlet straight on to me.
So we met you, how many months? It's been quite a while.
I think it's getting on for a year.
Yeah, about a year since we met you, yeah. She came in here as a customer. That's why.
Yeah, as a customer. Yeah. Heard about what you guys did, that you roast your own beans, really wanted to support local, independent, and, heard a lot of good things about you. So, yeah, dropped in.
Amazing.
And then here we are a year later. I'm constantly banging on your door on a Wednesday night for beans on Thursday.
It's funny, actually, I remember that we had that conversation, and what was it, 2 weeks ago, and we had the sort of same conversation of how long it's been. And you were like, I can't even remember it. You were like, I remember it was a whirlwind. You come in, and I remember the first thing you were like, really like corporate. You were like, right, how much is it? Yeah, you were. You were like, how much is it? That's the nitty-gritty of it. That's really all I want to know. How much? Because that price. Just straight to the numbers. I was like this person. There's no fuck. Yeah, wants to know the cost, and that was it.
Is that the northern you carrot?
Yeah, I've been direct. I can be a bit forceful at times.
So obviously we're going to talk about coffee supplying, and it's really great to hear about obviously the wholesale part of stables, but ultimately Scott's just been away on a bender for 2 weeks.
Yeah, not quite a bender, but yeah, but a good bit of sun.
A good bit of sun. I think the really nice segue of this podcast is us discussing what it's like to actually switch off from running your business for a couple of days or a week. How long were you off for?
10 days in total, yeah. And that was, I don't know, we had a bit less time off over Christmas, so that was a nice chunk, but their shops were closed on Christmas, so that's a bit of a different experience. Because when the shops are closed, we both know there's nothing else to worry about. But when you do take time off, and Paul knows this all too well, when you do take that time off and the shops are running, you do feel that sense of a little bit of guilt. You really do feel a bit of guilt. So it's actually really nice to, and of course we've got another member of staff off as well on paternity leave. So yeah, we're a bit fun on the ground, weren't we? And yeah, so I did feel a bit of guilt, but it was really nice to take that time off and have a bit of a reset, especially in the sun.
Well, Scott switched off.
I was going to say.
I had to switch off. Times 2. But no, yeah, I hear you. I mean, we've both been in the same situation. You do feel a little bit guilty. I think what we've learned as well is that when we're off, we try and sort of say to each other, have it off, because you do get pulled into it sometimes. And I'm like, unless it is critical and urgent, don't want to hear about it. Just the rest of it, day to day, just wait.
It was quite funny we said it. So every voice note Paul I think sent me, he was speaking to Trevor, and he's like, yeah, just put your feet up, have a good time. And then whenever we talk about some ordering or shopping or something, he's like, yeah, just enjoy one of it. And it's it is really funny.
I have to reiterate it. I'm telling you, but switch off.
Yeah, but it's like that, because obviously he still needs that a little bit of communication really to get.
It's almost like a little shouldered crime as well, in a weird way. It's like a little. Or problem shared is problem half. Sometimes having that conversation.
Actually going off a segue here, but
yes,
is that a benefit of having a partnership and working with someone? Karen, do you have someone, or are you using one man band running the show by yourself? Tell us a little bit about your business.
So yeah, I'm the polar opposite. I run everything single-handedly, so it is very demanding. I don't have a shop. I have a whole box that converts into a coffee bar, and I go out and do events, regular local gigs, but big events through the summer, but it is all on my shoulders. So yeah, although I'm not open 7 days a week, you guys literally, like I say, in the last year it has just been it's a roller coaster, and I've tried really hard to give you guys notice of our orders and quants and this, and it literally doesn't happen. The time just flies. So it's music to my ears when I hear you guys saying, well, actually, we've got somebody to bounce off and, to share the sort of burden.
And about the partnership in general between you guys, also Karen being, supplying to Carrot, have you been able to lean on these up guys for other stuff, or is it
Yeah.
Tell us about that for
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. We've been given loads of training. I've got a crew of staff, and you've trained them up. Even that just in itself is absolutely golden. Just to know that these guys care about the delivery. It's about how the coffee's being served and prepped, and it's just make a coffee with love, right? That's why we're here and why we do it.
Yeah.
It's really important, I think, and that just the training alone. And I think we've only done sort of one session. We keep talking about doing more, but and even from my point of view, I get so wrapped up in other things.
Caught in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, my service is a little different. I can have literally hundreds and hundreds of people in an hour, but for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to, work on demand, and, things slip through the net. And I know that the guys look at me and go, "Oh, what you do?" And I'm like, we deliver the coffee to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
But it's nice to say, "Oh, like I look at what these guys do and go, yeah, I forgot about that, or I forgot," and it just brings you back down, So it's, it's a beautiful relationship. I'm blessed that we met and that we're trading, and it's these guys look after me. Honestly, it's great.
What provoked the move to working with these guys? Was it a bad relationship, or was it they were in a better position to support you? What did that look like?
I think it's cool the fact it came from you coming as a customer. I think it's quite a nice sort of journey, really, because you saw it, and then again, you give your own experience of why you did come with us, really.
Yeah, I mean, the coffee, number one, the beans are great, right? The drink is top notch. And it's only when you start to drink good beans that you then go, "Oh, actually, oh." And I'm like, "Ah." And I'll actually go, "Can't drink that."
Yeah. And I think you mentioned that.
Now, I'm not
As bad as these guys.
And so when I came in here, one of the first things I probably would have said, I'm not a coffee snob.
Okay.
Right? I don't know whether you recall, but I started my business through a love of hospitality, service, being with people. And, coffee has always been great, but it was never like, coffee is my world. Coffee is sort of periphery to everything else that I do. And they have now conversed me.
You shift.
Being a coffee snob.
It's interesting hearing as well, because like we had that a lot, didn't we? We have a lot of regulars, and they come in and they're like, "Do you know what? What you've done now is terrible." Even like people who live here in Arborfield, they're like, "We won't sell because we know that you're on the doorstep.
Yeah.
You do amazing coffee, and we don't want to go somewhere where there's not a decent coffee." And it's amazing how many like coffee snobs that we've created. So it's
Organically.
nice. Exactly, but it's nice hearing the same with you. Is that shift was you like, "Oh, that wasn't me. I've got to focus elsewhere." But now actually you're like, "No, I know good coffee." And I think you mentioned it the other day. Even your customers were coming back saying, "Yeah, now that coffee is much better."
So people will actually stop. They'll take a drink, they'll stop, and they'll come back and go, "That's a really good coffee."
That's amazing.
And that's a testament to what you guys do. Okay.
Also, your delivery.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, yes. Oh, the way this up, which is great. But the other thing which is really good, and we talked about it in that last podcast, was we were talking about how we want to take that ownership off the owner, where you've got all these other. I mean, you did Glastonbury last year, right?
I feel like you undersold it at the start there. You've done Glastonbury.
Okay, let's open about it. Glastonbury, you do it or self-promo then? Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit. So Glastonbury being the height, or have you done other events at the same level?
Yeah, so when I say Glastonbury, everybody goes, "Oh my God, that's amazing." You're right. I am actually not on the inside. I am on the outside. So I'm on a beautiful glamping site. One of my biggest clients is called Green Yurts, and they do lots of different festivals all over. And the beauty of Glastonbury is it's our own little Glastonbury just on the periphery. But when I say little, they have 2,500 guests staying.
Yeah.
So in the morning, there's actually me and there's another coffee truck. Well, we actually had a pop-up coffee bar in a beautiful teepee and the horse box, one at the top, one at the bottom, another coffee truck, and we had 2,500 people
It's amazing.
to deliver in
Breakfast.
about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
So you do the whole sort of 9 yards end. It's magic. We we have the best time because at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody goes into the gig, and we then get to use all.
How does that business come around? Is it just through rep or word of mouth?
You know what? Just pure. That was luck. Somebody saw me at Shinfield locally making a coffee on a very cold February morning.
Amazing.
And they knocked on the horse box, said, "Oh, we really like what we do. We'd need a coffee truck." And it was actually called Glastonbury Hotel at the time. They said, "Would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Of course." And then it's rolled out there, and I now do Silverstone for them. I do Love Supreme, which is a jazz festival, the Long Road. you know, there's quite a few. It's great. It's amazing. So those are sort of the bigger gigs we do. And then we do loads of like local stuff as well. And that is equally as fun. And it's nice then to be recognised, or just saying we have, I've got some tubs that the beans come in and they've got labels on. And when they're on the truck, people are now looking and going, oh my God, you serve the Sable's coffee, oh, it's amazing, or we know them, or this and it's a real talking point, you know, and that's beautiful to hear that.
You almost get that regular customer base as well by doing those local events. So yeah, for you, it's like go from Glastonbury, where you don't obviously have that like repeat custom, to then the local events where you do, even though you're a horse box, you get those local customers.
Honestly, it's fantastic.
Yeah, those relationships. It's cool.
I love it.
Really cool.
Actually, you talk about that, and as we were saying the same, is that we've done festivals before. We did Pub in the Park in Marlow.
Yeah.
But actually, where you are and those glamping sites are actually better for you, because at festivals they're so like booze induced. There's only those few that are like hopers, but just want a coffee, or maybe in the mornings. But you don't do very well in trade, do you? Generally at festivals, but in the glamping site, you've got like everyone. They get up,
The early risers.
they want a beta, whatever they want.
Yeah, we have a captive audience, and like I say, I have been blessed with meeting some beautiful people, yourselves included, and you know, just it goes on and on, you know, like it is, and all from coffee. But you're absolutely right. I have done a lot of big festivals. Yeah, so I sort of cherry pick what I take on and what I do. But yeah, the green yurts is pure magic. So
Amazing.
Karen, how did you said you come from a sales background and being in the industry? How long ago did you launch your business, and what gave you the push to go and do it? And when I come from just
well,
find the box in a street somewhere and go, that's a bit of me, that is. Like,
yeah, everybody's dream is sort of, so I've come, like when I was 13 peeling carrots, then you do a KP and then you wash up and then you wait on and then you do bar, and then I used to do front of house and, you know, up the whole like spectrum. And being behind a bar is like, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the banter, the crack, you know, and being from the north as well. It's just sort of who we are. But I then went into sales, corporate sales. Then I had a family, and I was like, bored now. I need to do something. Everybody's dream is to have a cafe, right, or a coffee shop. Cute.
Yeah, mine was actually like a mobile coffee thing. That's actually, it's funny. Yeah, it's always funny. Even when we do events now, I'm a bit like, and I see yours, I'm like, oh, that was the dream when I stopped going to coffee. So it'd be cool to have like.
You still say it today. Yeah. I'm on a horse box. Chill out a minute.
You have always said actually you want to come and do a gig as well, so I'm going to get you on board, right? Get you on board.
£100 per hour. You sure about that?
Yeah,
We
free. It was free.
Oh, it's gonna be said.
Yeah, so you know, the dream was always like a little coffee shop or a coffee bar, and then you start doing your business plan and the costs and the overheads, and you're like, oh, hold on a minute, this is massive,
real.
Yeah.
real, and potentially dangerous. You know, it can go one way or the other. You know,
Do you know what? You hit the nail on the head there. Like, you know, and that was, I felt sick. I generally, when I built this place, I was like, if no one turns up, my entire life savings are gone, and I'm in a major pickle. And it was massive risk. So hats off to you, because it is scary, right?
It is massive risk. I mean, I invested in the horse box. I found somebody to convert it, designed it, branded it, put it all together. But ultimately, it gave me more flexibility to have a horse box with the event, and that has turned out well for me and my sort of business model. But
And you're your own boss now.
yeah, own boss.
It's a good thing, but bad thing, right? In a weird way.
It
'Cause
is.
you don't.
Well, you don't get a day off. Even when you're on holiday, you're still thinking, should I have got them bagels or in the oven? Did I clean up you know, is the milk still in there?
Do you feel the immenseness of pride at the end of the month when you pay yourself, though? Do you pay yourself?
There we go, see, bingo.
I think it's like coming as a business owner now. It's just something that I'd never experienced before because I'd always been employed.
Yeah.
That you go, oh, like if I work really hard, I can actually do that. Like I can skate if I want to, and if I can't this month because we've got bigger things that I want to invest my money into, then that's also a good thing. Does that relate or not?
Yeah, no, definitely. For me, I think
That's good.
I think in eventing what I do, I suppose it's the same as you guys. You can have a good day and a bad day, a good month and a bad month. And sometimes you're right up and you go, yes, I can go on that holiday. And then you go, hold on a minute, my coffee machine.
Yes. Yeah.
My coffee machine, one of our coffee machines broke last year. And I'm like, nah, didn't preempt that. So you have the highs and the lows, but yeah, ultimately you are your own boss. You make your own decisions and choices. And that's beautiful. But it's also not something that everybody can do. I think that's why.
Look, from the outside of things, a lot of people's dreams, it's my dream, but I think it's a lot of people's. They talk to loads of people like, oh, my dreams, I love coffee. Like one of my neighbours is, I'd love to have like a coffee van. I'm like, cool, that's my dream. But actually, when you do get into it, the highs and lows, it is a journey, isn't it?
It is a massive journey, and it's never ending.
Yeah,
Exactly. It doesn't stop. And I think that one of the podcasts is I really want to put together a little something that we would talk about, like those things about running the business. Like, it's actually quite shocking when what a lot of people probably don't understand is what's left. I always say what's left in the cup. Like, if I filled that cup up full of coffee, right, and I said, right, I'm going to take away wages, I'm going to take away rent, I'm going to take away PAYE and the rest of it, you're left with like a drip and a dribble at the end, which is where we as owners get to pay ourselves. It's not a lot. And in this industry, it's shocking. I think on average, it's like 10% at best. So, it's not great. And the amount of work that you put in, and it's a bit of a challenge at the moment. I don't want to go too much in this podcast, but it's a bit of a challenge at the moment where a lot of small businesses are petitioning to the government because they're saying, listen, you're squeezing too much. Just take it way too much at the moment. The wages are going up to minimum wage, PAYE, VAT, and the corporation tax. The industry is at risk.
It is at risk.
It's at serious risk. I mean, we've seen it in the pubs. We've seen the big chains in London, not the big chains, the big independents in London, like Caffeine, and the guy that runs that. He's been in the industry for so long. He's like one of Pete, I forget. Lovely guy, and he's trying to put petition into the government to say we need to make some change because for us as business owners, we work so hard and.
And not always for a massive return.
Exactly. People think, oh, you're doing well. Oh, yes. They say on weekends, you must be doing well. And I'm like, it's great to see it busy, and that's great. And we created something which is fantastic. But actually, at the end, it's not always as sunshine and rainbows. It's it's tough. It
is really tough. And I think people look at coffee beans and go, so much money in coffee. You've got to sell a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee.
I tell you, we roast the stuff, and I say that now. It's like we've run that business now for just shy of 2 years. And I think, that's really in the harsh reality. Is like the volume you need to get out to really sort of grow and scale. It's like, we need more to like get to where we want to be.
Yeah.
My sitter. Done living.
So you're an ugly cafe.
We set up around really nicely back onto the coffee. Karen, talk to us about the transition. Was there a switch operationally in how you worked with the previous supplier to these ones? Was it always glossy and always brilliant? Don't worry, you and Freddie's best with us to do it.
No, I would never throw anybody under the bus, ever. Do you know what? It's all been such a blur. You're asking me a question, and I'm really having to.
Do you know what I do remember though on that one? Do you remember when you came on board? I remember it was like don't take this wrong way, but it was like we were a bit of the problem because do you remember you ordered some coffee and we were like, last minute, you're lastminute.com.
I am the last
minute. Be honest, right? Because you run a busy, it's hard work, right? She's like, I need coffee today, right? And we're like, okay, and that's the beauty of us, we can help you, right? And I'm like, Karen, like when we give you that coffee and it was roasted like today.
2 hours ago.
Exactly. You need to let it rest for like a week. And then you were like, but nobody told me this. And it was like you never knew that from your previous. Yeah. And we were like, now you should prepare your coffee. You should order a week in advance so it rests for a week because otherwise it's too green.
So that has now prompted me. I remember now. So my previous coffee supplier, it was all vacuum packed in bags. So these guys, I get it in a box, in a tub with a lid. I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, nobody told me that. But also I'm thinking my business model, I am very reactive.
Sure.
And
to demand?
Yeah. And also sometimes I can get a phone call, are you free in 48 hours? Yeah, no problem. Got 300 covers. Well, I need 5 kilos of beans. And I was like, oh, that doesn't actually work with how the bean operates, because I can be reactive. I mean, you know, when I go to Glastonbury, I think it was 20 kilos or...
Because I remember that. I remember you coming and somebody coming to pick up mid.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Packing it in your car.
I think it was
your car was like a tin can, like full of sardines. Like couldn't get anything in it. I was like, trying to get the coffee in it.
Went a bit more in. But you know, so the big events you can preempt. You can well, even there you sort of go, you know, how do you order? Especially for what I do, because my ordering is mainly, or my delivery, sorry, is at weekends. I don't serve it, you know, I don't have 7 day a week or 6 day a week service. So, yeah, the whole bag and the beans, but you know, I think you guys have delivered. I don't think I've delivered on.
But you know what? We've actually learned a little bit from you, because what we learned as well is that we do get that. Like we get it with our other supplier. He was like the other day, I need it. Yeah. He's got an event and I need it now. So what we do is we actually roast a lot more as extra. We've got it rested, so it's rested. But it's not just, it is more for you guys, but it's also like for the clients, but also just in case we need it at shop level as well, because then we've got a little bit that's rested and ready to go rather than fresh, right? Yeah. Well, we try to. I mean, sometimes it's not always that easy for us, is it? Because we're busy. We've got challenges.
Yeah, that's it.
We don't get to roast it, but we do our best now to have a surplus so that it's there.
That's perfect. And yeah. Thank you.
That's all right. Thank you. Thanks for views of that, I get.
There's a broad question here is what would you do differently if you did anything again? So for example, Karen, I'm looking at you and your business model and that side of things, as well as the partnership. Like, is there anything you'd do differently or you would change or you would improve over the next, you know, let's talk now as in like the immediate, but also in 6 months time as is your plan to grow your business and therefore things need to change, or is the plan to stay on a steady path and pass on to employees? I think it's a nice segue to the end of like, what's the future? And is that right?
That's like 7 questions in one.
First part. Tell me a little bit about if there is anything you changed within your business or this partnership. Is there anything you would do differently?
Partnership? I don't know. I mean, just it's going to grow, get bigger and better. I hope, you know, my sales are going to increase and events are going to grow. Anything I would do differently? No, I don't think so.
Oh, really?
What about you guys?
It's hard because again, like when we work in the shops, it's like we have that experience of being a barista, being a manager or whatever. But like when we set up the roastery and Karen was one of our very own clients, it was like we were learning a bit like the roasted coffee situation. We were running ourselves. So it's like, I don't know, everything from like our ordering process to how we operate. But like, you know, it is, I don't want to say just, but it is just a roastery set up in a cafe. So it's like, we're spinning.
But you're learning.
Yeah, exactly. Every day we learn something new.
I think from me as well, it's like, and we mentioned it earlier, lightly. I said like, you know, simple little things like people know, like you say, the tubs, but sometimes the tubs aren't always that very well visible. So I said like, you know, let's maybe look at getting a Stables A-frame.
Yeah, a little.
And we can put that so that people can, you use Stables coffee, which could bring hopefully more sales as well, because people will see it from the phone and go, that's Staples coffee over there as well, but obviously they don't know it's your company, and then like, you know, they can buy that. And then the other thing I think for me would be, and this is more from us, is that, and I said this in the last podcast, is like we are very also quite selective, aren't we? We don't just say, here's our coffee, off you go. We want to ensure that everyone uses it well, is potentially to spend a bit more time. It's easier said than done to come and try the coffee that you're producing to see whether it's at the standard that we would like it to be. And it's not a criticism, it's more just a development to say, okay, Karen, this was potentially a little bit bitter today, or the milk was slightly over steamed. You know, it's not a flat white, that's more like a cappuccino, and it's honest feedback.
I actually think that would be great shout for one of you or both of you to come.
Well, this is the avenue for you to do something.
Absolutely. But seriously, from a training point of view, from my crew and staff, I can stand over them and go, you don't do it like this, you do it like that. But, you know, ultimately, if somebody politely comes up constructively criticizes.
Scott. I did.
You don't want to do it like this.
When I did my girlfriend's home training, I was like, that's not, and she was like, she's like, you're not the best trainer.
Threw in the towel.
Yeah.
But that, you know, from a training point of view, that is, you know, it's golden, it's priceless, and that is one of your USPs. You know, you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, and that's what we were set out for.
Yeah.
And again, as we grow as well, that's opportunities we can definitely look at down the line, and even bring our other like you know, bring Sham, our other barista, and he can do a few bits. But I don't know if he'll be getting like a seahorse on your takeaway coffees. But like if you know we are here, then we can need that support.
No, definitely, and it's a massive bonus. It's a massive bonus to have that support, or you know, to have that training. It really is.
That's good.
It really is. And I've got other members of my staff and crew that are like, well, you never asked me to go to training, can I?
Yeah, again, and I think you alluded to this in our last one. It said about like developing the next generation of employees. You know, it's something that like you're passionate about in terms of having. I know you do have one that is passionate about coffee, and that's like so meaningful for us. But that's what we've always said. We want to work with good people.
Easily, but you know, training them up the right way to deliver. You know, you can go to a dozen coffee shops and go, oh, really? I've just paid £4.50 for that, and it's really disappointing. And it's not rocket science, but it just needs a little bit of thought and love added on. That's what I feel like. Yeah. Steph, what's one thing that I missed actually? When you said, "Is there anything you could do better or improve on?" Delivering the quants to these guys, because I'm absolutely useless.
Okay.
Like useless.
It's actually good. So
Quantities.
All right.
So call-ups.
Yeah.
That's right.
But again, that's all right. Like, you know, like it would be great, but it's like
But that's because I'm so preoccupied with everything else.
Yeah.
And because you always say yes, you need to maybe say no. Yeah. Say, actually, no.
Business.
I know.
Something way to.
And then I go, oh, Jesus, I've got no.
But even I do say it, like, I'll give you that time. I'll give, okay, so we ready for you. Like, give us 3 days. And that'll be that.
It's funny because I'm like sometimes bad cop quite a lot, aren't I? Probably a bit more. I'm quite the harsh one sometimes. Is like I say to Scott, mate, you need to tell him that you got to give us a week's notice. Like we need to, it probably doesn't, but like you've got to, because we need to start. Do you know what I mean? Like we got to.
But again, this is as we grow, we're going to
hard for us.
a new order, like a different way of ordering, and
It's a good problem, but
yeah. But right now, obviously, because we are that small business, we're like, want to be flexible. We want to be flexible to tailor for your demands, because again, yours is uncertain.
Yeah, I know. It's just I do feel guilty every time I go.
Definitely.
so you should.
No, I do.
I do.
Got back. Don't do it.
Hi, Scott.
We are the business. Those are
5 kilos. But yeah, that calling off system, because what I then don't want to do is have like 3 kilos every Friday, not be working at the weekend, and then I've got another 6, and you roll it out, and then I've got I've then got a surplus of coffee beans sort of rolling around. But that's the supply chain, unfortunately. You sort of have to sort of push it all around a little bit. But yeah,
If someone's unhappy with their coffee supplier, what should they look for? And don't just say these guys. Is it delivery? Is it communication? Is it, the training? Like, where have you seen your business change based on that supply and working with these guys?
I mean, ultimately, it's got to be flavour and taste first, 100%. And I have had to go to a wholesaler if I've been away and I've run out of coffee beans. I've then had to go to a wholesaler and buy some new vacuum packed, and it literally puts your teeth on edge, because it's not great coffee. So the taste and the flavour, ultimately, yes, communication, but the support, like I say, for me, the training and the support, I know that if one of my team were really knocking out bad coffee after I could say to these guys, can I just send him down for, even if it's for an hour? And they go, yeah, sure. You could sit there and they would learn so much, so much more, because my delivery is so fast paced. So when I come in here, I'm like, oh, well, this is how it all works in a nice cafe. We're all squeezed in a little ball box, and there's 3 of us, and, there's not a lot of room. So that for me, the support and that backup is
I guess for them, learning on the job is quite intense. It's like if we had a new barista starting and we threw him in on a weekend, it'd be like, wow. So it'd be like having that, like, a little bit of a step back in terms of, and getting that training and attention to detail on those few things. And then once you learn that basis, then you can press on volume and get the pace. We would say pace is the biggest way.
Yeah. I'm actually glad you said that, because it kind of, on our last podcast, I sort of spoke a little bit about cost of coffee. So you can get that cheap coffee, vacuum packed, that as a business, it's like, it's cheap.
It is cheap.
Right? But the downside, I said in the last podcast, is that then the customers try cheap coffee, taste it, very unlikely they're going to come back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the biggest things, is what a lot of businesses don't understand, is that they're losing customers because people aren't coming back for a coffee.
Because it's not great.
Exactly.
And like I say, I was never a coffee snob, whatever you want to.
Connoisseur.
I was trying to think of the right word there. Yeah, connoisseur is better. But now I have my appreciation for good coffee has definitely grown, and it's it really isn't rocket science. But
No.
you know,
But like, yeah, as you said, it's like there is we said before, there's a general trend that people do want better. So, being on that trend, we've seen that having a new shop open in the last year, and it's like people do want better. That's what they want now, especially if there's not much in it in terms of the price, but people want that better. Again, I would say better product and a better customer service, and that is exactly what you want.
I would agree. Yeah, and also an independent. That's one of the main reasons. That was one of the main draws for me to come here to the stables. Was you're an independent, you're local.
That's cool.
And to support the local business. And I don't know if you get that here, but even people who, like Red in Half, for example, they will come back to me because I want to support an independent. And, that is like, it's music to our ears. Right? There's somebody to actually go out of their way, or maybe they're in Shinfield, but they're coming to Arborfield because the coffee's great. And, best coffee for miles.
Oh, I love your way to finish.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Easy so bad. Thank you.
You enjoy it? But also, it's best intrusive than you thought. Once you get in it, like, it doesn't feel like they're going wrong. I don't even notice them now. Yeah, chat. Yeah, it's good.
No, it's good fun.
Good, isn't it?